and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where yes, we have recorded another vital victory in our quest for the La Liga title. We're going to be talking today about our win over Mallorca. So many performances really that we have to look at, and especially Ansu Fati. He is in the spotlight right now. We're going to be talking all about him and more, but also coming up today, guys, and I've got to cover this, and we have to talk about this because Javier Tebas has been talking, and as you would most likely expect, it's absolute clownery. That's the only way to describe this. The guy has lost the plot. It's all coming up, so come on and let's do it. But indeed, guys, there is plenty to discuss really from yesterday's performance, because even though it was just only a 1-0 win over Mallorca, I mean, realistically, it should have been much, much more than that. I thought Barca's performance actually was much improved on the last games, because of course before tonight we'd looked a little bit sluggish, we'd looked a little bit fatigued, and I think we actually shook up the team well. You know, players came in, they were eager to impress, and I think they certainly did. And I want to talk here, first of all, there's so many players that we could start with, but let's kick off with Eric Garcia. And I mean, this guy, this season, you've got to give him credit. He's been outstanding. And it doesn't matter, it seems, where you play him, whether he's playing at centre-back, whether he's pushed there into midfield. Last night we saw him at right-back. He was outstanding. I mean, he looked absolutely brilliant on the ball. He even pulled off an absolutely brilliant piece of skill that all of the crowd there really, really enjoyed. And I've got to say, he's just really impressed me. And I think Flick absolutely loves Eric Garcia there. The way that he can deploy him in so many different areas, the way that when he is called upon, he's got a great attitude. He's very, very helpful to the team. And I've got to say, guys, you know, part of me's thinking here, can he play at left back? Is he able to play there over on the left-hand side? Could you try him over there? Given our real lack of depth, of course. And I've actually got a super thanks here talking about left back saying, what about Gavi? Could even he be deployed in that area? But yeah, guys, we've got so many great options right now. But can we also talk here about Pedri? Because I want to just appreciate yet again, and we should probably do this every match day. We should make it here a ritual that we come here and we just say, wow. We just say, what a player we have on our hands. Because in my opinion right now, guys, Pedri still is not getting the credit he deserves. All season long, and he's been available all season, he's played incredibly consistently. The level he's producing, it's not just, oh, one of the best players in the world, you know, he's up there. He has to be considered right now top 3, if not top 2, if not top 1. He has been that good. Pedri from midfield runs the show. It's all about him. And like I said before, when he's not there, we are nowhere near the same team. Not even close. Pedri right now is the driving force behind everything good that Barca are doing. And I've got to say, guys, you often get a real feel for how good players are. You know, how high is that level? Not when you listen always to our own coach and indeed to our own fans, because maybe, yeah, we might be a little bit biased. But actually when you listen to the opposition, and in particular opposition coaches will give you a really good feel. How good are they, really? What's it like to face them? And last night, Arrasate, after the game came out, he couldn't believe the level of Pedri. He said when you see Pedri, you can analyse him, you can look at what he's doing, you can enjoy him really from your TV, but then you see him playing against your team. And then you want him to stop. He said, you suffer. If you are playing against Pedri, you will suffer. I haven't seen a midfielder like him for a very, very long time. And this is a man here who's been in Spanish football a long time. He's experienced some of the greatest midfielders that we've ever seen in football. Pedri right now, he is right up there what he's doing. He is absolutely extraordinary. Everybody should be witnessing this. Everybody should be appreciating it. What a player! But speaking of magic, well, let's move on then to Dani Olmo. Because I've got to say, guys, again, it's very encouraging what we're seeing here from Dani Olmo. It feels as though he's building, he's worked his way back in the team, he's fit again now. And we know what he can do. You know, we know when he is fit, what he's capable of providing the team with. And I just look at the goal yesterday, and I think it perfectly sums up what Olmo has in his locker there. Because he's inside the penalty area, he's surrounded by Mallorca players. You know, there's players there all around him, but he just manages to find time and space where there isn't any. He will find that extra yard. He will find that extra half a second where he can strike, and you saw it yesterday with the goal. Absolutely beautiful finish there. It proved to be the winning goal for Barca. It was a really, really big moment in the title race as well, and Flick said after the game, Olmo's going to help us. Olmo, in these final games of the season, he is going to be so important for Barca, and I think we're all feeling that right now, especially as well with Lewandowski's absence right now. We need goal scorers. We need players there who can score, who can be in the right positions, who can take up the right areas in attack. Olmo's got so much ability, so much quality. And please, let's keep him fit. Let's look after him. We need him out there, because if he can be involved in the final stretch here of the season, he can be the difference. But indeed, guys, we must move on here to talk maybe about some of those players who weren't as high profile, who haven't been as integral to Barca this season. But as we've seen from Hansi Flick's Barca, the squad's important. You know, every single player there at some point may be called upon to play their part. And I actually think yesterday, from what we saw, the lineup that we saw from Flick, it's another illustration of his excellent man management. Because, of course, don't forget, guys, against Celta at the weekend, we saw genuine frustration. We saw players there that were genuinely very, very angry, even despite an incredible win, an amazing comeback. There was players there like Ansu, like Hector Fort, who were fuming. They wanted to play. They wanted to be involved. And what was interesting is that before this game, Flick in his press conference made it clear to the whole world, I won't accept that. That is not the way that we should be behaving. That is not the way that we should be conducting ourselves. I want a reaction, but I don't want it off the field. I want it on it. I want you to show me on the pitch what you can do. Channel that emotion into your performances, not outside. Now think about it though. After those words, I can guarantee, you know, the likes of Ansu, the likes of Hector Fort, they were probably thinking, oh, well, I haven't got a chance. You know, you haven't given me the opportunity on the pitch to do anything. What am I supposed to do here? And maybe they were getting more and more frustrated. And then Flick said, okay, do it. You're in the team. You're in the team. Go out there and show me what you've got. And that is perfect from me. He demanded more of them. He's done that all season from Ansu Fati. He wanted more. He wants to see more. And then he said, now's your chance. I am going to be fair. I'm going to be honest with you. Here is an opportunity. And I thought both of them played very, very well. I think they did play with a lot of emotion, with a lot of feeling there that, okay, I want to prove my point. I want to back up here the coach and give myself a chance of getting more minutes. I think with Hector Fort, you know, he wasn't put under any massive pressure from Mallorca as a defender. He didn't have a great deal to do defensively, but he had a lot of authority there down the left-hand side. He had to keep going forward. He had to keep making runs, had to be energetic. And of course, I wouldn't say his performance was anything crazy, anything absolutely off the scale. But again, for a player that's been cast aside really this season, hasn't really been at all involved, to get these minutes now and to show something, you know, to actually get on the pitch and just put in a solid performance, that's all that you can ask for right now. And I thought Hector Fort did put in a good display. And then there's Ansu Fati. And I think this is such an interesting conversation, really, guys, because I think if you ask a number of different Barcelona fans after the game yesterday, what did you think of Ansu? You'll probably get 10 different answers. You'll probably get people there on one side that are saying, I thought he was good, I thought he was exciting, I thought there was promising signs. You'll get other people who will say, I didn't like his performance, I didn't like the way that he was playing, I wasn't impressed at all by Ansu. Now, in my opinion, I am more on the first side there. I believe there were some promising signs. Now, again, I'm not going to say it was extraordinary from Ansu, because quite frankly, what did you expect here? This is a player that, again, hasn't played. He hasn't started a game for such a long time. What were you expecting? Him to come on and just start taking on players there at maximum sharpness? It takes time to get minutes in your body there to actually develop, again, the same kind of feelings on the ball, off the ball. But I thought actually there were moments, and that's what we're looking at here, moments where he showed promise, where there was a little burst, where there was a little turn and a shot at goal, where he actually showed a few things that we have seen in previous versions of Ansu. That's what we want to extract again. And I still think there's talent in there. I still believe there's a player in there if we work on it, if we really do put the hard work in, and if he too puts the hard work in. And Hansi Flick, he felt as though Ansu had taken a step forward over the past few weeks, and I think so. He said you can see that his teammates support him. Of course, the fans are really behind him as well, and I think for him, it's a good day, said Flick. It will help him to have a lot more confidence, more belief in himself, so it's a good day for him, and it's a good day as well for us. And I also think it was really nice again yesterday to feel how much the fans inside the stadium wanted Ansu to succeed. You know, they wanted him to score that goal. They were almost begging the ball to end up in the back of the net. And again, I would just say there was opportunities that he didn't get. You know, I think there was a number of occasions there where Ferran, he probably could have played in Ansu. You know, there was opportunities there was openings where that pass could have come. It didn't arrive, and again, you're looking at that connection. They barely played together this season. But I do think there was promise there. I do think that we should try and stick with it here. Maybe see more of him in the final games of the season. That could be vital to his future. However though, guys, along with Hector Fort, along with Ansu Fati last night, there was just one player though that did miss out, who didn't quite get his moment on the field, and that unfortunately was Pablo Torre. I know a lot of us were thinking, oh, is he going to get on? Are we going to see him? I really did want to see Pablo Torre. I feel as though he really does deserve more minutes, and Flick at least was aware of it though, and he was trying, he was hoping to be able to use Torre, but it didn't happen. He said maybe Pablo Torre, he could have played, but the match was really tight at only 1-0. But he said, look, I'm happy that everybody's connected here in the squad. There is a good feeling here. That's what we want to see until the season ends, that everybody stays very much united. And I believe in the final games here of the season, especially in the league, I believe Pablo Torre will get minutes there. It will happen for him. He's somebody, you've got to say, who hasn't shown his frustration. You know, he hasn't really shown a lot of anger. He's conducted himself brilliantly. His attitude has always been outstanding this season. And whenever he's been called upon, he has impressed. So I would hope that he could get some more minutes here in the final games of the season. And that there would be the icing on the cake. However, guys, now it is time to move on to the words of La Liga's president. Now, let me just emphasise that point here. We are talking about the president of La Liga. Now, first of all, he took a hit out squarely at Hansi Flick. Now, again, Tebas does so much talking. I don't think we need to hear this often from the president of the league, in my opinion. We don't need to hear your every thought. But he gives it to us anyway. He said, Flick complaining about the schedule, the timing of matches. We manage a competition, not the interests of one or two clubs. And he said, I wonder why Flick never complains to UEFA. So Tebas there trying to hit back at Hansi Flick. But you know what? That wasn't even my issue. That was not even the tip of the iceberg. Because then he went on to talk about Barca, about our trophy prospects this season. And again, why? Why are you talking? Why do you feel the need to comment on what we are doing? You've just said you control a league. You're in charge here of a competition. Many teams. So why are you always talking about us? Let me ask you that there, Javier Tebas. Why you only ever want to talk about Barca when you're in charge of the whole league? Leave us alone, maybe. He said Barca are currently leading La Liga. They're in the Champions League semi-finals. They're in the Copa del Rey final. Then he said they have a chance to win all three, or they could end up with none. And then extraordinarily, he goes on to give us a story about his childhood and about Real Madrid. He said, as a lifelong Real Madrid supporter, why does he say that so much? Why does he constantly tell us he's a lifelong Real Madrid fan? It's like he can't stop saying it. He can't stop telling the world that he loves Real Madrid. He said, I recall the season when we finished as runner-up in 5 competitions. We reached every final, but we came up short. Real Madrid usually wins finals, but not that year. And then he went on to say, let's see how things unfold for Barca. La Liga's wide open. They've got the Copa del Rey final. Real Madrid has top players. The Champions League semi-final will be tough too. Inter is no easy opponent. Javier, just come out and say, I hope Barca win nothing. I am praying and crossing everything that they don't win anything. Just say that. We know you want to. You don't need to keep hiding it here. If you're going to talk about us, at least talk honestly there. You are praying we end up trophyless. But let me tell you this. We're gunning for the treble. We are right there. We are still in contention. And I can't wait to see the tears. That is what I'm waiting for. Javier Tebas, my friend. Watch this space. So indeed, guys, everybody just take a deep breath. Everybody just stay nice and calm. We will do our talking on the pitch. But please do let me know, guys, what you thought there of those absolutely staggering and yet somewhat unsurprising words from the president of La Liga. Do let me know all of that in the comments down below. I will see all of you soon. We're going to be building up to the Copa del Rey final against Madrid. That is our target now. That is our big focus. I will see all of you then for all of the good stuff to come. But until next time, guys, as always, Vesca, Barça.